Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about knowing if someone is an opposition close to you by how you discuss what's going on with you. Knowing if they are opposition or if they are using the oppositional playbook. You know what I mean? I think what got me to the subject today was just kind of processing some things and time traveling, and I've discussed this prior before, but it's like discussing a boxing match. You know, it's only but so many punches you could throw, right? But then there's always something to talk about the boxing match. So that's kind of like what this is right now. The boxing match, you got about a hook, a jab, a uppercut. Those are your main three punches, you know what I'm saying? Hook, jab, uppercut. Hook, jab, uppercut. And then you figure out how you can tweak those methods around so you can win the fight. But what's happening out here now, and it's been going on, and you'll be able to tell easier just by when you go to talk about certain things about yourself. You know, let's say you wasn't in the best vibrating space, or let's just say you had a whole bunch of shit going on at one time, you know what I mean, and you just wanted to talk about it, and you was taking self-accountability for the energy that you're in, the energy you're projecting outward, you know what I mean? You just want to talk about it, you know what I mean, about yourself, and see what the universe gives you, so that way you can pull yourself out of that space. That is not the same thing as being a demon and just keeping the subjects and conversations on you per se, you know what I mean? But the tricky part with this is if you have a spouse person, or if you have like a best friend or somebody you around consistently, these beings will always figure out a way to flip it and make it about them, you know what I mean? So let's say you and your person are been together for a couple years, you know what I'm saying, or a year or two, you know what I'm saying, and let's say you had messed something up at work, and then it kind of just trickled down to where something tweaked on your car, you get back to the house, you know, something wrong with your computer, you know what I'm saying, you done kept it to yourself for about a week or two, but now you just kind of want to talk about it out loud. They are going to make you feel extremely guilty for even opening your mouth about what you have going on in that space. And if you realize, like, 10 times out of 10, usually if a demon helps you when you're in a weird space, usually 10 times out of 10, you had to tell them, say something to them. They didn't know how to empathize with you. They didn't know how to dive into your space and see you looking at a cup and then looking at the milk. And instead of them putting two and two together, that, you know, your hands are tied, they just looking at you with the cup right here and the milk right there, instead of just offering to help. Hey, I see your hands are tied right now. Would you like for me to pour this milk into the cup for you? You know what I'm saying? I can get a straw and sit it there for you so you can sip, because I know your hands are tied. They don't process things this way. And when you find yourself in that space and you're venting out and just trying to take self-accountability, it's their job to make you feel worse. It's their job to make you feel like shit. It's their job to flip the script, to bring it back around to them. You know what I mean? So for example, I had one situation a long time ago where I was talking about something, and instead of like, let me reprocess this. Because I have to be extremely mindful and aware on how I give these examples. So there was one situation where I was communicating outwardly with a being and taking self-accountability for what's going on in my life, what's been happening, blah, 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 right? Just talking about me and the shit that I gotta work on and the shit that I have been working on, you know what I'm saying? It's like I already done kept it within myself for, you know, a certain period of time, and now I just feel like talking about it. But because this person is in my space, I'm in their space, you know, best friend, spouse, partner, any of those things, usually those people are in your space. Because this being is in my space, instead of them looking at what I have going on because I decided to talk about it. If they got something going on and they want to talk about it, cool, I'll dive in and talk to it about it with them. But they have to talk about themselves. A lot of these demons want to talk to you about you and how they can control and manipulate you and what works best for them. I ain't with none of that, you know what I mean? But the conversation flipped to where this person is in a space to where now they're like, oh, well, you're saying that and you feeling this way because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know what I'm saying? And I'm in your space, and that plays a part and a factor and blah, blah, blah. And they start running around and dropping every negative angle aspect down possible to just put me in a state to be like, I waited a couple weeks before I said anything. I knew I shouldn't have said anything, but I wanted to vent it out. And now that I'm getting the responses that I expected, now it's making me work on my chakra system. You know what I'm saying? I'm not confused up here because I know to block that energy and those thoughts before they start crossing my path. The hardest part of working on that in that space would be the solar plex chakra. You know what I mean? Your solar plex chakra and your heart chakra. Some people, you know, they wear these up here and they sit there and ponder and allow their crown chakra to go a little crazy. For me, I don't allow that confusion shit to get to me in that way. You know what I'm saying? I have to work harder in my solar plex chakra. You know what I mean? But it's just understanding these things. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people fuel and feed off of us. You know what I mean? I've been in several situations where motherfuckers don't even wake up out the bed until I get up. You know what I mean? Like, from the time I'm crashing to the time I'm awake, from the time I'm awake to the time I'm crashing, this person is trying to fuel and cipher as much energy as possible. And my thing is like, I want to fuel some energy from you too. I want to fuel energy from you, but how can I fuel energy from somebody who's only fueling energy from me? It should be an even exchange, but there's not an even exchange there. You know what I mean? My thing is, like, you can put all the money down on the table, but a fair energy exchange for me is like waking up before me. You know what I mean? So that way, when I'm in my moods and I don't feel like getting up, you're up and inspired and motivated. So now I can fuel energy from you. They don't have energy to give like that. So that's why I could wake up at 8 o'clock, my person be up right behind me at 8:30. I could wake up at 10 o'clock, they right behind me at 10:30. I could wake up at 12 o'clock, they right behind me at 12:30. But they will not get their ass out the bed and start routines and getting things done until they can fuel energy from me. Or unless I'm out the house and then they already got some sneaky weird plans lined up. You know what I mean? But what happens is, even with that shit, the fruits always show that they haven't been doing anything possible when I was gone, anything fruitful while I was out of the space, you know what I'm saying? And I had the same thing with my co-host, you know what I'm saying? I went out of town on a trip to Florida for a week, and I knew I was going to test him, and he failed. He failed the test, and then, as you guys can see, I don't have him up on the Godcast anymore. You don't just get to be up on the testing, you know, in these positions and privileged and to think you get to rock like that. That's not how it works. You don't get light beings in your life and feel like you're gonna get more. You don't get more. You get that and that's it. And then you run out. You know what I mean? You don't just keep getting us in your life. You know what I mean? That's not how this works. I get up, and I know we all get up with a pound of shit weighing on us because we back in this realm. But after that pound of shit weighs off of us, we're trying to push forward and take our steps so we can manage through the day. Once we start taking our steps to manage through the day, we're processing for the week. After we're processing for the week, we're processing for the month and for the year. These are like just subtle steps as far as how we do not dive ourselves into those spaces, and how we can also listen to any of these robot zombies, demons, we can listen to any of them talk about what they got going on. Be able to dive into their world, give them helpful insight and information and solutions. You know what I mean? But we will never get the same on the other end of the spectrum. You'll have to tell them what to do. You can get a demon to do something for you. You have to tell them. They won't just do it. They will not just do it. You could be like, hey, I need to get my car out the shop. And they could have known you need your car out the shop for months or for weeks. But they would rather watch you suffer and make you have to ask. I remember one time I went to New York with my brother, my big bro. He used to come get me. He's 2 years older than me. And he used to come pick me up so I could come vibe with him. And I remember one time he came and got me, and I had told him prior, like, bro, like, I ain't got no money right now. Like, my funds a little hurt right now, so I'm just giving you a heads up. I'm not one of them people that used to go out to the bar, the clubs with my friends, and then not let them know it to the last minute. Nah, if I ain't got no change on me, I'm gonna let you know I ain't got no change on me. You know what I'm saying? But my bro knew these things. And then after like a day or two into the visit, we moving around the city or out about to he about to stop by the store and grab some food. And it's like, I'm all the way away from my home, away from how I even get my ends, even if I'm getting ends outside of the normal means. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I'm out of my element. But you're gonna order your food and then you're gonna make me ask you to get me some food. Nah, I pass. I'd rather not ask you for the food because my spirit isn't set up that way. I wouldn't tell somebody or go get somebody and bring them 6 hours, 8 hours out the way to make them ask me for little things when I should just be doing that off the strength of this is love. That's my big bro, or that's my little bro, that's my spouse, that's my partner. That's not how this shit operates. And that's how you learn that this shit isn't what they make it seem it is. You know? I remember I was about to address my big brother about what had been going on with me because we hadn't talked. This was years ago. Me and him hadn't talked in a little while because he felt as though I was just calling him, or like it wasn't that I called him. We were communicating. I think he had actually called me this time, but I took it upon myself to bring up some things that I never talked to him about when we was younger, you know, or when we was teenagers. I was in the space of clearing out a lot of air. And I'm figuring, shit, this my bro. We done a lot of shit together, bro. You should be able to listen or comprehend and we could communicate back and forth. Nah. He gave the same energy my spouses give. The same energy my co-hosts give, you know? Fuck is you bringing this to me for? You know what I'm saying? If you're down there, you keep yourself down there. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get better, you get yourself better. Like, one of those kind of weird ass things, you know what I mean? Like, ignorant. You know what I mean? And you just have to understand, you have to balance out what you decide to share with others. I love sharing information. So, for me, it's a fight not to share information. That's where my battle comes in at. Not sharing the information. I had to literally fight this spiritual battle a while ago and literally ignore somebody for like damn near a whole day. And that's because we was in the same physical vicinity, you know what I mean? But it's easy for me to ignore because I don't look at it as ignoring. I look at it as focus on these beats, or I'm locked into this content, or I'm locked into doing these numbers and where I'm focused at. So it's not really ignoring, it's I'm focused over here, but being focused over here can go hand in hand with being ignoring to this other being or entity over here, you know what I mean? So it's all a process, you know what I'm saying? It's their job to minimize this. That's their fucking job. That's their job. So try not to take it too personal. You know what I mean? That's what I do. I try not to take it too personal. I may get and I feel it at first, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck was that? You start looking around, and I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. It's a spiritual war going on. That's supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? Waking up people hiding toothbrushes or doing all kind of other weird stuff. Like, it's a weird process, and a lot of people, I don't want to say have a disorder. I just want to say they're demonic. A lot of people want to give people these diagnoses. If there was no system in place, you wouldn't be saying personal or personality disorder. It's it's either you flowing with the natural flow of things or you not flowing with the natural flow of things. So if there was no system in place, all the little beings would look at, when you see 5, 6, 7-year-olds playing, they all kind of operating in the same spirit realm. They all kind of collab together. They know how to unify. And then it's like, that made me lose my whole point to where I was going. That's one thing about doing these, and you just take the information from the universe and you don't have notes or have it written down, you know what I mean? But I was definitely going to make a point somewhere with correlating the little people, how they work together. Oh, the little people and how they work together, right? So if you got 10 little people all working together, they all in the same spirit world. If one being is not operating the same as them, not saying like I'm just looking at it as they're operating righteously. Not, oh, well, they could be doing it this way and then this one over here. No. Everything over here first is righteously first, then witchy second. Righteously first, witchy second. That's how we would process in real life anyways, without all this other stuff going on, you know what I mean? So those kids or little people would automatically look at this other being as if he's out of place if they're all moving righteously. You know, that energy would build momentum against this little source, because there's more energy and power and momentum built up in this source right here than this one source. So we got these 5 or 10 right here, and they focus their energy. All their energy is together. It's this one. He's operating outside of them, doing some weird shit that's throwing everybody concentration off or fucking up the project or whatever the hell they was working on. You know what I mean? But it's the process out here right now. When I say Western world, because I seen somewhere in the comments somebody was correcting me, and I guess they thought I was talking about America. I wasn't talking about just America. When I say Western, anywhere this robotic system is set up at. It's people in Australia that's in the Western world. It's people in UK in the real world. Africa, real world. I mean, in the Western world. South America, they are in the Western. Not saying all parts of these continents or these land masses are. And to be honest, I still feel all land masses are connected. I don't believe that this shit's separated and, you know, they have the answers and we don't have the answers. I don't believe in that shit. If you look at the UN map, the United Nations map is actually a replica of the flat earth map. You know what I mean? So flights, they always have to fly certain ways, and you always have to go longer routes, because they have to keep it hidden that this shit is flat. It's flat. There's no other reason why we see clouds moving, but then you feel as though you're spinning so fast you don't feel it. Come on now, we are not that stupid. We're not that stupid. So you gotta think about it. If somebody is gonna lie to you about Christopher Columbus, 9/11, the Tuskegee, that one is always tricky. Tuskegee experiments. It's like a lot of things you could run down there. The system has been lying, so why would you even pretend to believe them? That doesn't make any sense to me. So if my mom lied to me my whole life, what would put me in a position to be like, oh yeah, she's telling the truth now? That don't make any sense. I would look at, if I got an accumulation of lies that I felt like my mom told, I would look at the past and I'd be like, oh, that means she probably could have lied about that. I mean, that shit probably wasn't true either. I would be able to put it all together. You know what I mean? I could be going in on these subjects all day. That's why I just try to keep it in this time frame. You know what I mean? But that's what I meant by Western society. I'm not talking about America. I'm talking about if you are part of this brainwashing, robotic, demonic, unempathetic system. You know what I mean? Like, somebody was telling me the other day, I cannot beat the system. I cannot fight the system. I'm like, just because you cannot fight doesn't mean that I cannot fight. Just because I understand that the system controls you too. They could take this shit down with the swipe, doesn't mean that I'm not going to fight. That's like me saying, oh, this guy is bigger than me, so I'm just gonna stand here and listen and do whatever he says. And I ain't one of them people that's like, if you cannot beat them, join them. No, if I cannot beat them, fuck them. I will keep fighting. That's how I am. It's not no, you join them. In the Western society, this is a prison. This is a prison, so of course you have to follow some of the prison rules. Even if you in the real physical prison, you can have cell phones, you can do drugs, you can do all these things, but you have to learn the system rules. You have to cooperate to a certain degree so you can wiggle around them. Why is this so hard to comprehend? You learn the rules so you can wiggle around them. Their rules are meant to be broken. That's why they put them in place. You know what I mean? But I don't want to run up too long. Tap into everything down below. You know what I'm saying? The descriptions is the websites, the beats, the links, everything. You know what I'm saying? In the description. You know what I mean? Peace and love to the kings and queens.